This week on Not Sauce for Work, my co-host Terry Tam and I are joined by our producer Eagle at Master Control as we discuss sports commissioners acting as hatchetmen to their bosses. Aaron Rodgers lost his start for the week while winning at Halloween. O.J. Simpson kills it at a Buffalo Bills game, and Montreal loses a treasured landmark. All this and more on this episode of Not Sauce for Work and on the Hot Sauce Sports Podcast Network. Welcome everyone who are listening to and perhaps watching Not Sauce for Work. I really need to spend more time writing that cold open because I run Burgundy it. Yeah. I will read every word. So if it's at instead of or, I will say that.
Why don't you just go off the top of your head?
Because Eagle got mad at me the one time I did it. How's it going, Eagle?
Well, you guys.
It's going well. I didn't get mad at you. It's just that like you stared awkwardly at the camera and rambled for about 30 seconds.
Yeah, that's what I did.
You know what's awkward?
What?
When you have a just like a sportsbook account where you make bets, and you're at like a specific amount, and you're picking up slowly. I'm part of a group. They came on the show In Play Live. They came out a long time ago, and we kind of like share bets and stuff like that. And so I tripled my book, like 3.5 times my book in overnight, like within 2 days. And then I just saw this button on the website that said live casino.
Oh.
And I was like,
that's dangerous.
Hey, you know what? Let me just play some roulette for a couple hours. I love roulette. I go to the casino. I play roulette normally. So I went on live casino, and I lost 1/3 of what I gained.
Yeah.
1/3 of my whole bank. And I probably would have lost more if I hadn't withdrawn the other third.
That's some bad bankroll management, I gotta say.
Oh my god! So I was like, I picked it up. I made a few last night. I'm back up like a little bit, but not even close to where I was before.
Go ahead, Eagle.
What
Didn't
would
stay in my
you
account
have
for
bought
24
with that
hours.
money is the question.
Nothing.
though.
I would have just made larger bets and grown it to like whatever.
Eagle's not degenerate enough because what happens is you set aside gambling money where you're like, this money doesn't count.
Yeah.
It's not real money.
No.
So
I mean, I put away that money too. It's just I put it in my stomach via food on expensive dinners.
I put it into Starbucks. No, but like I'm going to New York in a couple weeks, so I pulled out some money just so I can spend over there. But the rest of it, I was like, I can't believe that happened. I'm looking at it, and you don't see it going down because you play that trick, right? Where it's like you bet, and then if you lose, you double your next bet, and if you lose that, you double again. You keep on doing that until you win once, and then you made your money.
Yeah,
unless
you don't win.
I hit a streak where I was just playing black. I hit a streak with 25 reds in a row. 25.
At that point, how
the
far?
odds are really bad of that happening.
I know. I you know what? I wish I took a picture. 25 reds in a row.
How far into the St. Lawrence River did you chuck your phone?
I don't live close enough.
All right.
Like,
You're driven to the river.
Yeah.
Thrown the phone.
Actually, I do live right on RDP. I live in St.
There you
Dorothy.
go. We share a river, you and I.
Yeah, we share a river, opposite ends of the island.
Yeah.
0.5 to the power of 25 is a really fucking tiny number.
So it was like, okay, if I'm
it's so
exaggerating,
tiny,
it
I
was
get
like,
E in
it
the
was
calculator.
It was at least 20. At least. It didn't even make sense how many reds I saw.
I have an opposite story about bankroll management. If you want to feel worse.
Yeah, go for it.
Just for Terry, even at 20 times, it's 0.00009%
And
chance
if I
of
saw
that
and if I saw a line on that sportsbook that said the next 20 rows are gonna be red, and the chances of this are happening are 0, and it's plus 1 million.
You hit it again.
I would have taken it.
Yeah. I went to I was in Vegas with my brother. I brought him for his 21st birthday.
Your brother in Vegas it's something, I guess. Right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Oh, the Del Rock is in Vegas. This is a disaster. But we so he was tired, and I don't think he was actually 21 that night. He was like 20. So even though it was like getting close to midnight, he's like, I'm just gonna go to bed. We're gonna be here for a couple of days, so whatever. Okay, well, I'll go to the casino and I'll see you back at the room. Next morning, he woke up, and on the nightstand there was $900 something like that. And he says, He says, "Oh, Pete, you didn't put your money away like in the safe." I was like, "Yeah, I did." He's like, "What was that?" I was like, "Oh, that's last night. That's my money from last night."
Oh, so you went okay.
I was up.
I have stories like that too. Go for the finish.
But then, we went to another table the next night, and we're playing. Duke was down early, and again, I guess the jet lag, whatever, is bothering him. He went to sleep.
Got it.
He went to sleep pretty early, you know. So I kept playing, and I just, I'd have kings, get guys to go all in on kings. Oh, great! You turned over
Oh, you
nines.
play poker at
Yeah, I only
casinos.
play poker.
Oh, okay. I only play roulette.
Yeah,
Maybe a little bit blackjack here and there.
So blackjack's when I feel like losing slowly over the course of an hour.
Exactly. You just want to get drunk and lose.
Yeah,
money.
I just want to get drunk and lose money as
That's
slowly
all
as
blackjack
possible.
is. Nobody has ever made money on blackjack.
I mean, it's short bursts or counting
impossible.
cards, but yeah.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
Or counting cards, yeah, I guess.
But
I'm
so
not smart enough for that.
I mean, neither.
Yeah.
So what happens is, so these two guys kept drawing out against me. I dropped kings, they dropped nines, and hey, they hit a set of nines.
Were they together?
No, well, they were friends, but they weren't playing together. They were just
Oh, okay.
friends sitting at a table. So at one point, I'm now overextended. I've spent almost all my money that I brought with me to Vegas. So I'm like $1,500 in the hole at this point.
Yeah.
I'm like, so annoyed. I was like, you know what? Fuck these guys. I go to the ATM. I withdraw. I was like, this is my last $200. And I was like, there's one thing I know I can do.
There's nothing worse than a man's ego when he's down.
Oh yeah.
There's nothing hard.
And especially like
nobody is more hard-headed than
a game
man's
like
ego
that
when he's
where like
Nobody.
there's mathematical possibilities in poker, right?
Yeah,
So like
exactly.
like if you're playing properly and losing, you're like, no, fuck this.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I knew one thing about these guys because they were ordering like light beers all night. I said, I'm from Montreal. I can outdrink these guys,
Yeah,
guaranteed.
That's a guarantee.
So get the waitress over, and I start ordering 20 drinks at a time for like 4 of us at a table.
Yeah, because it's free, right?
It's free.
Yeah.
And I know that if I order one at a time, it takes long for them to come
Yeah.
around. It's part of the game at Vegas, where drinks are free, but it takes a while to get them. So just ordering. And at one point, one of the dudes is so drunk, he's drinking it through his T-shirt and saying, "Extra cold filtered." Because
What do you mean he was drinking?
he put his T-shirt up over his mouth and was
And he was
drinking the
pouring
beer
the beer?
through his T-shirt, like through the opposite side of his T-shirt.
Where was this guy from?
Kentucky or something. And
Because they drink Coors Light in the States.
that's the thing.
Michelob Light. Like
I switched to regular beers, and we were drinking 4 or 5 at a time.
my buddy Lorenzo, and he always brags about how many beers he can drink. Lorenzo, you're drinking Coors Light, man.
Yeah,
It's water. It's literally water.
you do feel remarkably bloated after. Coors Light, though.
Why do that to yourself
Yeah.
if you're not going to get
Just
hammered?
get the alcohol if
Yeah.
you're gonna feel bloated. So then, all that to say, at the end of the night, even though I overextended, I was up like $3,000, and the rest of the trip was amazing.
Beautiful.
It was a great trip.
I remember there was one time I went to the casino here in Montreal, and I actually have a Vegas story too. I went to the casino here in Montreal, and it was my birthday, probably around 21, 22, and whatever. I pull out like $50 from my account. We started playing roulette. I put it on 2. Just like I put a bunch of. It's like one of the first times I ever played roulette, so I didn't really have like my own strategy. And so I put a bunch on individual numbers. I put it on 2 because I didn't know you can do rows. Right?
Mhm, yeah.
So I just put 2, 15's my number, this, that, and that, whatever. So I put it on 2. It hits. Okay. I don't realize it hits. I don't know that it hits.
You left it there.
No.
Okay.
I continued. I don't realize. So I'm like, whatever. I lost. And then the guy pulls out the stack and he gives me the stack. I'm like, oh, cool. So I just made this.
I thought you let it ride.
No.
Not knowing.
No, I did. So then they always leave your initial.
Yeah.
Bet, right. Hits again. I'm like, I'm gonna ride it. Hits again. And then I'm like, okay, I'm taking it. It's not going to hit again. So I take it all out. I put it on black. Hits. Obviously, I get black. So I doubled it. I ended up with like from a $20 bill, from a $2 bet at that, or $150, whatever it was. I ended up leaving that table with like $300.
That's always nice.
I walked as we're leaving the casino, I walked by War. I slap it on, double it. And we went to the restaurant upstairs, had a blast. It was one of the best things ever.
It's a fun experience.
So because of that, I tell people I'm always up in roulette. Like emotionally, I'm always up in roulette.
The one other story from that trip was this is again Duke just turned 21. We're out there in Vegas and we get approached by someone who looks very much like he's a police officer.
Oh, okay.
And he says to us,
So
"Would
like
you
your
like to
father.
buy some marijuana drugs?"
He said
And
marijuana drugs?
Duke is like, "Yeah, 100%," and starts following him down an alley. At which point, I grab him by the collar and is like, "No, we're good."
You want to buy some marijuana drugs?
Yeah, and as we pass the alley, we realize there's a cop on a motorcycle waiting for whoever they brought back into the alley to arrest them immediately for marijuana drugs.
I remember I went to Vegas and my buddy is like, my buddy's girlfriend just left him a month before they were supposed to get married. So we're like, let's do a reverse bachelor party. We go to Vegas, 3 guys. We went, Bellagio, sick deal. It was like $900 for 4 nights, car, flight there, direct flight there, connecting on the way back. Unbelievable deal. We took advantage of it. So we get there, and he starts talking to this guy about like buying drugs. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, we're not doing that. And then he's like, yeah, this guy's giving like, we're going to get in this limo. We're going to go to a strip club. I'm like, I'm not getting in anybody's limo.
Some rando's limo.
But it's a thing that they do in Vegas, right? They see you on the street. Like, you want to go, it's $10, pay me now, and I'll bring you to the strip club. And I'm like, I'm not getting to anybody's car. I don't know anything about Vegas. It's the first time. There's too many lights. Like, there's too much going on here that I don't trust. Let me get my fucking feet wet, and then we'll figure it out. I like Vegas. Vegas is fun.
It's a good time. We should go together. It'd be awesome. Be a good time.
Shit show as well.
I would have gone this year, but work only sent the U.S. people and not the Canadian people. But I get free room and board and flight and all that shit.
So we'll go on Eagles time, and that'll be awesome.
Yeah.
But until
usually
then,
it's mid-October.
So you'll take me for my birthday. That's my 40th birthday next year.
We stay at the area. We share a bed.
Vegas next year?
Yeah, I'm done.
I'm very down.
Share a bed at the area.
I'm done. I'm done not traveling. Let's put it that way.
Fuck the area. You gotta go central, more to the middle.
I'm going for work. It's comped.
Oh,
I
you
can't
have
pick.
to stay at the area? Okay, we'll stay somewhere else.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll order room service. We'll order stuff to Eagles room.
Yeah, exactly.
But we'll stay at like the Bally's.
No, I think the area's on the strip.
It is.
It's on the strip.
Okay, I was thinking about the.
It's like right next to like the Gucci and the Versace
Luxor?
stores.
That's like a bit.
Yo, Luxor, low key, great breakfast buffet.
For sure doesn't beat the Bellagio buffet.
No, of course not. I'm talking
Bellagio
about
buffet,
within the price range though.
The Bellagio buffet sucks your dick.
Yeah,
nothing
especially
has ever
Sundays.
Sucked before.
Sunday buffet is amazing. But I think it's time we get to the news. Terry, it's the news.
No, it's good. I can actually hear you. I can actually hear you this week. So when Ego plays videos, I'll just
You could just put the headset on.
No, because it looks weird.
It does look weird. Yeah, if you we need to upgrade that.
Only Mokan
can wear them. The weird thing is, I'm sure Mokan has radio headsets that he can use at any time, but he continues to use the broken one that's 20 plus years old.
Doesn't look that bad, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks kind of stupid.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But I'm not sure if that's your face or just a headset.
Terry, it's been a rough couple of weeks to be a sports commissioner, and I was thinking about this week, as the report that Roger Goodell made $128 million over the last 2 years.
That's fucking nuts.
As a bonus.
Bonus on top of his $42 million a year salary.
Well, last year he graciously waived his salary.
Oh,
graciously,
of course.
Because
the
of tough
NFL
times.
commissioner makes $130 million every 2 years.
I was
crazy.
in bonuses, but you know what? You want to know what the reason for the bonus was? He basically, not just he, but the NFL raked the teams over the coals in this last CBA.
Yeah,
it's 10 years long, and the players lost a ton. It's an awful CBA from the player standpoint. DeMaurice Smith. It's been reported. We've talked about it on this show, of course. It's been largely reported that DeMaurice Smith and his team are largely anti-labor lawyers who were employed by the NFLPA. Weirdly,
they're anti-labor lawyers.
They're guys who, in the past, have always represented the opposite side. They're not guys who have a lot of experience representing labor.
Fucking tinfoil hat is on right now.
But
anything about Roger Goodell has never made me feel comfortable.
But why would the players keep voting for DeMaurice Smith? After the CBA, they can't vote for him. Like, it's clear. Like, it's done, right?
Yeah.
What they did was they appealed to the largest percentage of players in the NFL make sort of like something of like 15% of the cap.
Okay.
Because you have a lot of players who their careers are 3 years long.
Yeah.
So a lot of things that they wanted were things that NFL teams were ready to give away because it's all short term and it's not a lot of money.
Yeah.
So the guys who have long careers
like
who are
Uber rides.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about that too. But so the thing is that they rewarded him for basically like, hey, you know what? You're going to save us money over the next few years, and you got us a great deal, a great TV deal. You got us a great CBA. So imagine how much extra money the owners are making that they're giving him 128 for these 2 years. And what I was thinking about was what that price tag is for a job to do a job for which the qualification is you got to be fairly smart, right?
Yes.
But a lot of people are.
Naturally.
Training in law or accountancy is relatively important, but you can, if you're not trained in that, you can probably hire people to do that, right?
Yeah.
With the money you're making.
The money you're making.
But basically, what it takes is shamelessness. You
got to be like ruthless. You can't be like a good human being.
Well, but and more than ruthless, like if something happens and you're the face of that league, you got to, like, for example, you're going out and defending the case of the Washington football team.
Yeah.
Or if you're Gary Bettman, you're defending a rapist being protected in the Chicago Blackhawks organization. And that's what all that money is for. It's so that the owners don't have to face the media when it comes to these things.
Exactly.
And I was thinking about, like, would you be able to, for any amount of money, be able to be that person where your entire life is being a meat shield for billionaires?
I mean, the thing is that the job isn't advertised to be that.
But it is. Like, it boils down to
the
that.
job is advertised that you're running the league, and
but you don't.
But you're keeping everybody in check. You're putting out initiatives. You're just there. You're like the guy that everybody answers to. You're like a manager.
But you're middle manager because the owners actually run the league.
Yeah,
right?
of course.
So here's my thought on this.
Which is they should.
The only people that can remove you are the owners, right?
Yeah.
If you essentially don't do what they want.
Oh, you have to.
But that's the thing, though. Something bad happens. Do the right thing, and if they fire you because you did the right thing, one, you still made your money, so who fucking cares? Yeah. And two, you're gonna go down as a pariah essentially, right? Because it's like, well, he did the right thing, and the owners let him go. Fuck the owners.
Exactly. Yeah. It's true. It's a very good point.
Very
good point.
The thing is, David Sampson actually mentioned this. I think I saw it on Twitter. It's not something from our personal relationship with him. It's something he posted publicly, so I can say it. He was saying that when he was working in baseball, when he was working for Jeffrey Loria for the Marlins and the Expos, basically, if he wanted to keep his job, there was no line for which he could not cross. Where as a person who's no longer a baseball executive, he wouldn't be comfortable crossing those lines. But when you're working in that field,
you're blinded by reality.
It's the world. The world in itself doesn't even exist in the same way.
The person that's telling you to push us under the rug and defend it is also a good salesman and explaining to you the side that would be like, yeah, you know what? Maybe I should like defend this, because this guy's gonna lose his job. This guy's gonna go to jail.
But I think it's also
gonna do this.
It's a personality type,
of course.
Like
Gary Bettman's a fucking weasel.
Yeah, but all commissioners are right. And that's because that's what it takes to do that job. And
David Silver's the only one I can look at and be
but
like,
for now, right?
For now, yeah, he's gonna get fucking.
And we'll talk about David Silver too, because he comes up later in the show as we talk a little bit about the NBA. I think
I wasn't too involved in like the politics of football when Tagliabue was there, so I can't really tell you.
Well, the reality changed a little bit, like with social media and all that. The reality did change, right? Of what the job has become.
Baseball's had the
but the money changed too, right?
Yeah, big time.
So
baseball's had the sketch. What was the name of that old guy that was before Manfred? Butsy,
our favorite.
Exactly. That guy, man. Oh, like Walking
was
Dead.
he even alive?
He looked like he was dead. He looked like the
at any point.
He looked like the Crypt Keeper. Like he was disgusting to look
Emperor
at.
Palpatine.
Well, actually, I didn't actually include on the script because we have a full show today. But David Stern, he's largely beloved, and one of the situations. Actually, no, we will talk about it because it's in rapid fire. I just missed the headline.
Let's do it.
But we'll get to that. We'll get to rapid fire. But the thing is, in this case here, like we see the similarities in the handlings, right? So like we think. At first, the reality, people reacted like nothing's going to come out about the Washington football team. Yeah. It's so stupid. It just stopped at Gruden. Gruden, like as shitty as he was, the bigger story got buried. But it's not going to actually be buried because we saw what happened with the Blackhawks. Because the Blackhawks did the same thing, and the NHL did the same thing, saying they found nothing, until eventually outside forces forced the information out.
It's not that they found nothing; it's that they looked at nothing.
Yeah, well,
they looked at whatever was presented to them by the team.
Yeah.
The team is giving you the. Imagine going to see Henry Ruggs and being like, "Can you bring me all the evidence against you that tells me that you did what you did last night? Bring all the evidence to me." They'll be like, "Oh, okay. I'll bring you all the evidence I want you to see."
I find it the equivalent of oftentimes my wife will call me and like, hey, can you clean up while I'm away?
Yeah.
And I leave the house exactly as is.
Yeah.
And then when she gets home, like, what the hell? You didn't do this, and that. Like, I didn't see it. Like, obviously, I thought I did a good job.
Honestly, but I will say that about women. I'm sure my girlfriend's gonna be listening to this too.
Oh, my wife listens every show.
She gives me shit because she sees like a little thing. She sees them. So I look, I'm like, and I get mad because she's like, baby, you didn't do it. I'm like, what? Whoa, I know I fucking cleaned it. I know I did. What was it?
It's there.
I look, and it's there. And I'm like,
your underwear that you were supposed to pick up.
Yeah.
It's still behind the bathroom door.
No, for me, it's like a stain or like something small. And I'm like, I know I cleaned up after myself. So I look, and then she's pointing at it, and it's there. I'm like, but like, how did it go?
So do they plant the evidence?
Apparently, they do, because there's no other explanation other than they do this just to keep us in check, which I respect.
Yeah. You're smarter than us.
Yeah.
Okay. You deserve it.
You got me.
The other situation, of course, arising in the NHL right now is with Penguins' former employee and Aaron Scald. The Penguins, to their credit, immediately fired the person in question, whose name I didn't write down. So, Eagle, if you can get me the Penguins person.
Can we just not mention his name at all because he's a fucking piece of shit?
Yeah.
I guess, but I like mentioning
talk
people in connection with their crimes so that we don't forget who committed the crime.
If you name the victim.
Yeah, Aaron Scald was the victim.
SKAULD.
ALDE.
LD.
Yeah. So the what's it called? The Penguins fired the person involved immediately.
And then wrote
made
him
a statement and all
raving letter of recommendation for the next job that you got.
Yeah. Well, and also didn't contact the authorities when a crime was committed on the premises.
Oh, I was kidding. I was being really sarcastic. I don't think
they didn't actually. Okay. In this case, well, the Blackhawks wrote a letter of recommendation. So.
Oh yeah, exactly.
But it reminds me of. There's a scene in the show Community where in the school of air conditioning repair, they put the two of them in this competition where they have no like access to like air conditioning, and they're basically sweating to death, and Donald Glover's character wins. It's like, all right, we need to punish him. It's like, no, call the cops. That guy committed murder. That's all you need to do. Just call the cops. And that's what it reminded me of.
But that wasn't the only time they did something like that. They did it once with the girl, the cute one, the nerd. I forgot her name, but
Annie Edison was the character name.
Yeah, she put bunch of people in a room, and they just left them in there to see who was the last one. And Abed was just there, like because he has no emotion, and he was just standing there for like days.
Yeah,
and they went nuts.
Yeah,
John Oliver was the guy. Like they just went nuts.
Just go home. Just go.
It's the reverse Duncan effect.
Yeah, exactly.
It was ex-Wilkes-Barre Scranton coach and current piece of shit John Clark Donatelli.
That was it.
Hey,
thank you, Eagle. I should have wrote it on the script. I just
Donatelli.
Yeah, Donatelli does machines.
Say it properly. Piece of shit.
John but no, but he's Italian, and apparently Italians are perverts.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say. I wonder if he
Run
used
for mayor.
I wonder if he used the Cuomo defense. You know?
Yeah.
It's not my fault. I'm Italian.
Oh, I eat pasta on Sundays.
It's me. I'm a pervert. By the way, I'm allowed to do that.
Which is also like that's a bit racist when people imitate Mario.
Well, so I had that conversation the other day.
It's from a bit. I think it's Mark Holmes, the comedian. He's like, "It's me, I'm Mario." It's like so racist.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
A me? What's a me?
It's funnier because the Japanese came up with that as the insult to the Italian.
Exactly, they created it.
I mean,
genius is the Japanese.
Weird when you consider their World War II alliances.
I was gonna say, I'm just gonna make that joke.
So that's the thing is, it's just I know when the Me Too stuff started happening, I started thinking to myself, well, at some point it's gonna get to sports, and it's gonna be bad when it gets to sports, right? Because the culture of keeping things internal and protecting the brand, protecting the name, and protecting money, and all of these things just create an environment that allows these things to grow. I'm hoping that right now we're getting commended for having the conversations, right? Like it's important we're talking about. It's important these people are coming out, but like at some point, it can't just be a discussion about discussion. Like things need to effectively change, and the discussion is a good starting point. My fear is that because we live in the gotcha culture, the only thing that matters is, we got that person. But if the environment that created that person continues to exist, it's going to continue to happen. And that's the problem.
Exactly.
I think industry by industry, though, they're going to have to address it. Like, it's been a big problem in, like, gaming culture, like video game development. Activision Blizzard had a big scandal recently. Before that, there was stuff with
Ubisoft
Riot, Ubisoft as well, etc. So I think each industry is kind of tackling it in a very different style depending on what the needs are, right? Like, then the same problem we have in sports, there's very little women representation in the management side of the league.
Yeah.
And very little comes out. This is a very taboo topic for a lot of people, so they don't want to talk about it. You kind of hide it. So now that it's out in the open, hopefully that's going to introduce a culture change in sport and hopefully elsewhere in the world.
So you say that, but just this week, the Miami Dolphins contacted Tony Busby, the lawyer representing the 22 accusers of Deshaun Watson, 10 of which who have filed criminal complaints against Deshaun Watson and who have opened an FBI investigation into Deshaun Watson. And they urged Tony Busby to reach 22 settlements so that they can make a trade for him before the trade deadline.
The Dolphins said this?
It was the information since come out that it's the Dolphins. Chris Greer, of course, has denied it. But as a Dolphins fan,
crazy.
I feel gross, dude.
How many people would actually jump ship?
I honestly, I don't think I would have been able, like.
Just become a football fan at that point.
It would, because I'm like that with basketball.
Slowly appreciate the Dolphins for a while.
Like I'm like that with the NBA, for example. I don't have a favorite team. I'm good. Like I think it might have to be that at some point if teams are going to continue to operate this way, because, dude, like the legal system shouldn't be at the mercy of the NFL trade deadline. That's insane.
That's nuts.
And that you thought it was normal to ask that? It's crazy.
Also, you thought it was normal to go through all this trouble for a guy who's been accused of raping 22 women.
Yeah.
Well, sexually assaulting
and
allegedly.
And 10 of them
alleged piece of shit.
Alleged piece of shit.
And 10 of them again being investigated criminally.
That's crazy.
So here's what I do. 21 of them file
right?
settlements. The one person withdraws and keeps the criminal complaint, so he can't get traded. And then they split the 21 settlements between the 22 of them.
Well, but here's the thing. Is several
Fuck you, Deshaun Watson.
several of the women, because it's their decision, several of the women did not want to settle. And many of them thought the settlement offer from Watson, the ones who were willing to settle, thought that it was not an appropriate amount.
What's like, okay, let's say you're a situation like this. Your daughter, she's like 25 years old. She's a physiotherapist. She just got sexually assaulted by Deshaun Watson. She's part of this class action lawsuit, whatever. She's part of it. And then she turns to you and says, "Dad, what do I do? They offered me X amount. What's the amount where you tell them, you tell your daughter, are you comfortable with this amount that he's going to get? That there's some sort of justice that was played."
I'm a bad governor on this because, as we've discussed before, I'm not particularly good with money. I don't particularly. I'm not one who's motivated by money.
Yeah.
But I would say, like, look, legal fees will start adding up. It's gonna be harder for you to fight this court case, especially if it happens in the U.S. like it did with Deshaun Watson. But I would definitely be one of the fathers who'd be urging, no, we're gonna file a criminal complaint. So if you want to settle your civil case, great. That's fine. I understand that mechanism exists in law for a reason. But we're going to pursue that criminal case.
I look at my daughter and be like, if you're offered this amount and you're comfortable with that amount, like you don't feel any regret, you don't feel dirty, you don't feel in any way like you didn't get.
It should always be their decision anyway.
Yeah, your message wasn't clear, then don't take it. But if you feel like, you know what, he paid to a certain extent, he paid with this, I'll be like, okay, then you take them out. But I'll never make the decision for them, and I'll never tell them you should take the money.
My thing is I would pursue the criminal charges because, again, I don't want to be in a situation where I don't feel like I did enough to protect other people.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, it's, you know what? If it happened to my family, obviously that's the primary concern. But that's already happened, and you want to find a way to heal from that. But beyond that, you want to make sure that you're not putting that person in a position to do harm to others.
Also,
So for me, I would say the amount is not as important as the care treatment that the person has to receive. So if you need counseling, whatever it is, that should also be covered by the amount. I'd also expect a written statement of remorse.
Yeah.
If I can't get that and there's no non-disclosure clause in it as well, I don't want the money.
Deshaun Watson's lawyers will never let him
that I'm not settling because that's part of it, right? You're paying me because you're admitting guilt.
Also,
but they're not.
But then why are you paying me?
That's not the way the legal system works.
I know,
Yeah.
but when, why are you paying me?
Paying
Because-
you is for the problem to go away.
Yeah.
It's not an admission of guilt.
But then I'm not taking it.
Exactly. Also, if you're innocent, then why not fight it forever? But he's also
Well,
losing
but
money, and there's like.
and-
Especially because I'm not extorting you. You did something wrong.
Yeah,
right?
you're
Like, if you
offering
did
me the
nothing
money,
and I'm
But-
like,
it's
but-
not extortion when you
But
offer me the money.
there's a couple of things at play here. One thing I take for granted because I'm Canadian is that the counseling and stuff would largely be covered by the government and covered by my insurance and all that, right? Whereas in the United States, obviously that's not the case. So definitely, Eagle, that's a blind spot for me, and that's why you handle my finances. The other thing is legal fees again, right? So like a lot of these women, part of the reason that they're wanting to settle is this has gone on a lot longer than they calculated.
Exactly.
They're paying Tony Busby's legal fees and whatever. I'm sure as much as he's taking money at the end, like after the settlements.
Wait, so the legal fees come from the
Partially at the beginning, yeah. Like you need to keep the ship going, right? Like,
Well, yeah.
like if you need to go pay
If
for
you can't afford the lawyer, then you can't accuse anybody.
so
else
what's
with
his
this kind of
salary
stuff.
again, Deshaun Watson?
He was making like
20-something million, 30-something million.
he was making more than that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know if he signed in the new window of like the
No,
35
he
million
had
plus.
signed right after Kirk Cousins did, so he made more money than Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
Like, Kirk Cousins is making like 28 million a year.
So but I'm saying like the new guys are making like 37, 38. I think he's
Yeah,
under like
Dak's
he's
making like 36 or 35.
yeah, he's under that new window, so he's
Yeah.
probably like 29, 30 million. Yeah.
And how many years does he have left in the NFL? Let's say 10.
Right now it looks like 0.
Yeah, but let's
10.
say
He's
let's
gonna
say
play
whatever
again.
he were to
10.
sit on, he has time back. 10 years,
10.
Yeah.
220 million.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
probably more because his next contract would have been greater.
So
Right.
maybe 300 million.
If he
Divide that by 22.
There's also
per
no
person?
way that he's able to come back and perform like the Deshaun Watson that got paid that amount of money too. I don't think he's ever going to be the same Deshaun Watson again, no matter what. Even if it comes out this year and he's able to get a full training camp and he comes into a new team, he goes to Carolina, whoever the fuck. I don't think he's going to be the Deshaun Watson that we expect because he didn't have any expectations before. He was playing on a team that was up and coming, whatever. But he also wasn't looked at as a bad guy. He didn't have to answer stupid questions. Didn't have to answer questions about what he did to these. Obviously, the reporters aren't going to be asking him these questions when they come to the NFL. But he never had to face that adversity. Now he will. He's going to suck. He's not going to be the same.
See, to me, that's I know we talked like theoretical. That's the magic number right there. It's the opportunity cost of doing it is your career. So you owe us your career now.
Also, if Deshaun
cash.
Watson ever lays a finger like that, like I don't know how every father hasn't murdered him yet.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine getting access to a pro football player is not always easy, especially
Yeah.
when in this circumstance. But
So
yeah.
let's bring it back for a second. The Dolphins ownership group vetoed this deal, is what the rumor came out as, right?
No, the ownership group pursued the deal.
But they finally weren't comfortable with it.
They weren't comfortable because the cases were still pending, and it was a calculated gamble that the criminal case would take 2 or 3 years to come to pass. I, as a Dolphins fan, found it gross. I found it like, you're willing to take someone who likely will serve time for this.
Yeah.
You're not considering the suspension, just from a football aspect, you're not considering the suspension that will come ahead of that, I imagine. And then on top of that, this guy did something wrong and you're giving up premium assets for him. I understand I was pro training for Deshaun Watson before all this came out, right? Like I was first one, like I like Tua, but 26-year-old superstar, you go get that. You go get it.
I would take a football Deshaun Watson over a Tua. That's for sure.
Yeah. Like just without the situation.
So I was right about Tua.
Easy decision. Better human than Deshaun so far.
No, I mean he's just not gonna be what everybody thought he's
We'll
gonna
see.
be. Alabama quarterbacks, man.
We'll see.
Alabama quarterbacks.
Henry Ruggs from Alabama had an unfortunate situation. He was driving his car at 160 miles per hour while being obliterated drunk. It was confirmed, despite the internet rumors, that his car color, after being completely dismantled, was not exactly the same as when he bought it new. Also, he could have had his car rewrapped because he's rich.
Yeah.
Here's a video showing on the screen of Ruggs sitting on the corner while.
Well, I mean, to his defense, he's probably completely out of it.
Yeah, it's just it's a really bad look that
It's a
someone's
bad look.
burning to death,
Yeah.
and you're on your phone, or you're not even making a call for help. I don't expect him to put the fire out.
He's
but
probably rattled, completely rattled.
Yeah.
Like I'm not defending him. I'm just saying, it was like in a situation like that, maybe adrenaline kicks in, But in a situation like that, I'm like, and he was busted up too, obviously.
So that was the original defense from his lawyer, essentially, that, yeah, if he looked kind of like, stumbling and not there, it's because he just got in a high-speed collision and he was dizzy, not necessarily intoxicated. That's not what the blood report said.
And that's not what the server at Topgolf said when they printed his receipt.
Topgolf?
Yeah, the Topgolf.
That's where he got hammered?
Well, don't you?
Everyone gets hammered at Topgolf.
It's awesome.
It looks great, but apparently, like, the drivers are shorter.
Yeah, it
like,
doesn't matter.
Not,
the golf experience is not what it's for.
Yeah, like, I'm seeing
You're not
people
there
hit,
for the
like,
golf.
like, no way, this is real.
No.
It's not.
You're there for the booze and you're there for the stupid prop bets.
It's a bar that happens to have some golf stuff.
So it's like a Dave and Buster's for golf.
Yeah, it's awesome.
You get tokens and stuff?
I didn't, but
because like there's targets, right? I figure those targets get you like some sort of points, like some value points.
I just had a couple of drinks and hit some
just
hit
go get
balls.
drunk.
Yeah, let's do it.
Interestingly, I took an Uber. So that's probably what Henry Rugg should have done. So the receipt that was printed out, Eagle, was he had at least 18 shots and what is said to be several mixed drinks. The police are actually reviewing the footage from the bar to determine how much he drank. The state of Nevada has a very serious DUI penalty. If it's a DUI that results in bodily harm, it's 2 to 20 years. And I don't even know if that includes a possible manslaughter charge as well.
Definitely manslaughter.
I know, but I don't know if the 2 to 20 includes the manslaughter.
Wait, manslaughter is always. Oh no, wait.
Because it's DUI resulting in bodily harm, right? So I don't know.
But but the person dies, so you have to include manslaughter in that.
I would imagine so. I'm not a specialist in Nevada state law, right?
He's not coming out before the age of 90.
And I know PZ mentioned it earlier. You take an Uber. Are you worth $25 million?
No.
Yeah.
Not even close.
You can spend the $40.
Henry Ruggs wishes that he played in the NFL 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Because TMZ was there, but they wouldn't have caught this.
And TMZ wasn't. It's crazy how TMZ has become a reputable reporting.
Weird, eh? Dante Stallworth killed somebody in Vegas with a car. Never saw a day in jail.
Yeah, I don't. But also, there wasn't as many cameras. There wasn't the ability to trace whether or not Dante Stallworth was drunk or not. Like,
I've met 2 people that have gotten away with killing people when they're drunk.
That's insane.
Paid off the families. When the 2 times I didn't. Whatever. There's long stories, but like no matter how good they are today, I can't look at them ever.
I know what you mean.
And they're not even good people still. Like it's not like they're not doing this on a weekly basis, but they're still assholes.
Yeah.
And it's like, especially one of them. And I'm not. I've never been friends with these people. They're just acquaintances. But like, I look at you in a different light completely for not owning up to it, getting your parents to pay you off.
Yeah, and either way, the thing is, like, I know no one wants to be defined by their worst act or their worst day, but that changes when your worst act or worst day killed somebody.
Exactly.
Because the person you murdered won't have the opportunity to have another day.
And
right?
I'm okay with I'm okay with like Derek Carr saying, listen, he needs love right now because he's probably super down and Carr is friends with this guy, doesn't want to see him kill himself. Happens all the time in jail. Jeffrey Epstein happens all the time in jail. Not the same.
Also didn't kill himself.
So, but just like, he's trying to protect him, and people are hating on Carr for saying those things. He's not saying what he did was wrong, right? But he's just saying, listen, we need to love the guy that's been in our lives.
Carr is. We often talk about Kyrie Irving as a bad messenger. Carr's like the opposite side bad messenger, where he just seems to be
nice of a guy.
He's a good guy who just happens to be very religious and
happens to be very mediocre at football.
Not statistically.
Yeah, statistically he's been great.
Yeah.
It's been great statistically.
But
so just besides the DUI, which he was blowing at, or the alcohol was at 0.16, which is double the limit. It was,
and that's a big guy, right? Like, he's a pro athlete.
It was also reported his Corvette, I think what the Corvette was, a Mustang. It was a Corvette, right? Yeah. Was clocked doing 250 kilometers an hour, 156 miles per hour. At the time of collision, it was down to 126, but I mean, it's still over 200. So besides the drinking and driving, you're also going, like, at bare minimum twice the speed limit. Like, forget the drinking part. Why the fuck would you do that to begin with?
Twice the speed? Yeah. So, okay.
More than twice the speed limit.
More than twice. It's crazy. I mean, I don't know how
you're just asking for trouble straight up.
We were talking about it before you got here, Eagle, and it's like I've been in a car where it hit 160, and it scared.
I mean,
the
I've
shit
done that. That's as high as I go, because after that, I'm like, this is.
It scares.
But we're saying, wait, just to be clear, because not all of our listeners are in Canada. 160 kilometers.
Kilometers, yes, not miles.
To be clear, it's not even close to 160 miles an hour. Yeah. So I did it too. I was on an open road in Vegas. It was not in Vegas, sorry, in what's it called? In Nevada, but not anywhere near the city. It was in the countryside. And open road, you can literally see for miles and miles. And it was, I got it up as fast as I could and I got it down as quickly as I could. was like thrill. I'm like, cool. I'm never doing that again.
Nope, that's it. Did it for my life. I'm gonna tell my grandkids about it one time, and that's it.
I was telling Terry that I kind of like was trying to adjust myself in the lane, and like I was like, oh, it was a Dodge Charger, so it was rear-wheel drive.
You feel it.
It doesn't turn easily.
No.
And so like I kind of swerved a little bit. I was like, okay, nope, no.
Yeah, but
I'm done here.
nothing beats the adrenaline rush of losing money on a live casino.
There we go. Yeah, that's the way to do it.
Nothing beats that.
Are you sure? Because I'm pretty sure hitting a car and having it explode and then go to jail is probably
I'm
a
sure
higher.
I mean,
rush.
look at the evidence. He didn't really seem that excited.
Yeah,
about
it's
it,
true. He was
so,
not
yeah.
excited at all. No, that's the thing is, no matter what happens for the rest of Henry Ruggs' life, he's somebody who murdered somebody,
Exactly.
whether intentionally or not, and it's awful.
He's gonna have to pay.
But man, we said it last week. Call an Uber. We'll see later. I don't know if this is true or not. We haven't vetted the source, which is suspect, and we won't reveal who the source is. But apparently, the Las Vegas has said that the city would pay for Ubers for players.
I think it was the team that said.
But the team has car service also, so I don't know if they offer both things or Uber after hours.
The source also said, referenced big game hunters live in Vegas for that. Talking about that story. I don't know.
So we'll see. We'll see when we get to that story later.
I don't know
in
what the
show.
correlation is. As soon as I watched that, I retweeted. I'm like, okay, what did I miss about the big game hunters living in Vegas? Like,
I'm so happy. I was gonna post another video from him. I'm really happy we got that one instead.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers, Eagle, your quarterback's a liar. When asked,
technically he's not.
He
Really?
is a
'Cause-
liar because they said that Johnson & Johnson is not approved, and he said, yeah, I'm vaccinated.
no,
he
he said
didn't.
no.
He said I'm caffeinated.
No.
He said I'm immunized.
No, Eagle, you're
Ah.
wrong. They asked him. The question was, "Are you vaccinated?" He said, "Yes." Period. I'm immunized. So he said yes to the question, are you vaccinated? And in this time, he's been violating COVID protocol, the same thing that's
Every
costed
game.
players $14,000, $15,000, $20,000 in fines. He hasn't paid a single one. So will he be fined now for every week violating
He
COVID
should.
protocol? He should,
Be.
absolutely.
Absolutely. Listen, I like Aaron Rodgers. I love
Aaron Rodgers.
Love what he represents. Fuck you, everybody. I'm going to do what I got to do.
Halloween costume's awesome, by the way.
Yeah, great Halloween costumes. John
Drew his
Wick.
hair. Well, we'll get there.
It
John
was
Wick.
the next thing.
I know.
Weird correlation. Just found out Matrix 4 is coming out December.
Yeah.
Late December.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Um,
I saw a tweet where the new John Wick, as we see Aaron Rodgers' costume for Halloween come up on the screen. The meme that came out was John Wick 4, no shots taken.
so yes, I mean, look,
I wish you could take credit for that one. It was great.
I like Aaron Rodgers. He's great. You know what he represents, but like, he's completely amazing. He's completely wrong for this.
Yeah.
Like,
And I was so excited.
People are not vaccinated and playing in the NFL. It's okay.
Yeah, they were
There's
masks on the
protocols,
sideline
yeah,
and
there's protocols.
all the things that they're doing.
But he's like,
So here's the part I don't truly understand yet. Every team needed to kind of declare what the status of the players are.
Yeah.
His
Not
status,
to the public, but to the league, yes.
to the league, exactly. His status was some like naturopath, therapy, something, blah blah blah, religious exemption, whatever. The things that other people have tried to do. The NFL said no to it.
Yeah, it was
so
denied.
it's not like this was unknown per se or whatever, right? Like it was obvious, and it's just he's getting away with it.
no,
versus
but
other people are
But
not.
now he
filed
can't,
that
right?
He took the Johnson & Johnson vaccine.
But did he?
He didn't, though.
and it's not even an approved vaccine for the NFL.
Yeah.
So he used Johnson & Johnson, saying yes, I'm immunized, but it's not even approved. You have to be has to be Moderna or
But again,
Pfizer.
if you're the NFL, you okay? Well, it's Aaron Rodgers. Close my eyes. Not a
No.
big deal.
But that has to be what happened.
How is he
is
not?
Eagles
How has
fine.
he played for 8 weeks then, and not have to deal with all the other shit that's
They
going
probably
on?
told him it's gonna come out, and when it comes out, we're gonna suspend you, and that's it. But I don't think that the NFL would mess around like that.
They would have to know because to Eagles' point,
Yeah.
they had to submit who was and wasn't vaccinated on
Yeah,
each team.
because some people have to follow one protocol.
Yeah.
Some people need to get daily testing and meetings and all that shit.
And we've
right?
seen players get fined already
Yeah, for
this
sure.
season.
Yeah, definitely.
Isaiah McKenzie, I think, was 14,000 on
And
his
so
salary.
For being on
14,000
the
is a big
sideline
deal.
without a mask.
If he is getting fined, they're not publishing that he's getting fined. If he's not getting fined, why? Right? Like he's getting special treatment, obviously.
Oh yeah, there's something there for sure.
Yeah, and it sucks because all I wanted to talk about was he had the best costume. How for a year we've been making fun of his crappy hair and his douchebag haircut,
And now we know why.
and we know why. And it's like you turned it around, bro.
Yeah.
we were all
You did
against
it.
you.
You were out.
Yeah, we're like we're done with you. We're done with you and your stupid hair, and you made it awesome. And then you go and screw everything up.
And then
Just
you
by
gone
lying.
and fucked everything up, Aaron.
Damn you, Aaron.
And fuck you, Aaron.
So if he
Fuck
really is
you.
John Wick, do you think he's gonna go out of his way to find who gave him COVID and ruin their entire lineage?
Yeah, I mean it's not as bad as killing a dog, but it's up there. It's definitely up
Yeah.
there. Although it gets him to play less games for the Packers, so maybe he did it on purpose. You think that's a possibility, Eagle?
It is very possible. Don't get me wrong.
The only trade really of consequence that happened at the trade deadline was Von Miller going to the Rams. He had an emotional exit. Eagle, can you put the video up?
Give me 1 second because Facebook video is very stupid. Hold on.
Sorry. I next time just put up a finger or something. They trade for Von Miller. They get a second and third round pick, which for an expiring contract is huge. Let's see.
This stupid thing. Hold on. I'm gonna see if I can find it elsewhere.
Okay, look for it. The Rams are doing something interesting. They're basically saying we don't need draft picks. Let's trade them for known quantities. We don't care about the salary cap. We'll figure out the problems in the future as they come. For example, they made a trade. They packaged picks with Jared Goff to get Matthew Stafford because Stafford, by virtue of signing earlier than Goff, has less of a contract than Matthew Stafford. And Matthew Stafford is far superior to Jared Goff. We knew this even at the time the contract was signed, but that's just how it worked out. But we'll get to the contract manifestations in a second. Eagle, play the video of Von Miller.
Team guy, I've always been a great teammate, and I'm going to continue to do the same thing.
And you hope to be able to play right away. You know you were close last week.
I was close last week. You know, I hope to be able to play this week versus the Titans on Sunday night. So.
Will you always have Super Bowl 50? Will that be?
I always have Super Bowl 50. You know, seeing the pictures when I was walking out, it just made me tear up.
Yeah,
you know,
the video's
but
super cool.
we always got.
Can you hear?
We always got Super Bowl 50.
Okay.
I always got Broncos.
As long as the audience can try.
Yeah, keep going.
Is there hope then, as this thing you saw with Peyton last week, that someday there's a bow that ties where you're Ring of Famer, Hall of Famer?
100%. That's what it's all about, for sure.
Thank you, Vaughn.
Thanks,
you're the
guys.
best.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, sorry, we couldn't hear the clip, so we didn't know when we can start.
So I'm like, fuck, I've always wanted to text him, see if he wants to come on the show. You know, maybe he'll just say, yeah, you know, fuck it.
Why not?
Yeah. So when this happens, I text him. I said, hey, Vaughn, congrats on the trade. The Rams definitely increase their Super Bowl chances now. Would love to have you on my show to talk about it. I host a sports network in Montreal. Huge NFL fan base here. Thanks in advance. Wrong number.
Yeah.
That's what he texted me back.
So ask who.
But how sure are you it's actually?
Should I
his
ask
number?
him, say, are you sure?
No, ask. Well,
How sure are you this is the wrong number?
We'll ask. Well, then who are you? Because maybe he gave his phone to another celebrity.
No. Here's what you do, Terry.
Then who are you?
When are the Rams playing this weekend? What time is it? You text him right before the game, and if you don't get an answer for the next few hours, you know he's lying.
That's not bad, actually. We could just like every week we send Von Miller like, "Hey Von, best of luck, go
Against
kill it."
Whatever.
As the game is starting, so we know he can't be texting back.
Yeah.
So.
But I feel like I want to just put on text him now. Are you sure this is the wrong number?
No, because then he's gonna block you straight up.
Yeah.
Okay, so on what time do they play?
Or just ask like, "Is this Jewel?"
Eagle, what time do they play?
Okay, let me find out.
Or
Are you
like
looking, or you want me to look?
I'm looking right now.
All right.
They play the Titans Sunday PM, so 8:20.
or ask them why.
Oh, Sunday nighter. Okay.
Ask them why they have Von Miller's phone.
Right now?
Yeah. Well, why do you have his phone then?
No.
No.
Hold on. Save it.
Okay.
Save it for the moment.
I'm gonna put an alarm.
Yeah, I like it.
I'm gonna put an alarm, and I'm gonna call it Von Miller.
So the Rams executed what I call an NBA trade. They have no cap space because of all the trades they've made, and so what they did was they paid 2 draft picks to get Von Miller, so that it'll clear cap space from their roster next season because it occupies one of the 53 spaces.
Yeah.
And the cap number will come off the books because they won't be able to re-sign him in the
coming off
offseason.
the Broncos.
But
Broncos are paying for it.
Broncos are paying part, and the Rams will not have to pay for it.
Aren't they paying like $9 million of a 9.1?
Who, the Rams?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but the thing is that the problem is next year they're over the cap. So by him occupying a roster spot, they won't be able to sign him next year. The Rams won't. So basically, it puts them under the cap again. It's some creative accounting. You see it a lot in the NBA.
Yeah.
But so and the NBA, you've seen it, right? Like when there's been trades, like the Pelicans got like 20 picks for Anthony Davis, right? Like when you make a trade for a superstar, who cares? Like the picks won't matter as much
But
anyway.
I found out a couple weeks ago from you that 85% of the you have to be getting back 85% of the salary you're sending.
That's in the NBA,
minimum.
yeah.
That's crazy.
But they staple picks to that to make the trade worthwhile.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
So is this the whole idea of a rent a player in the NFL essentially?
it's all it is a rent a player in that look, it's going to make their team better on route to a Super Bowl. Pro Football Focus ranks the Rams as 4th overall in terms of like pressures and all these advanced metrics.
Behind the Cowboys, I assume.
I don't remember where the Cowboys are. I looked up the Rams.
Come on. Cowboys are number 1.
I don't know because they're high in takeaways, but I don't know how they are in like all the advanced stuff.
PFF.
Defensive ranking.
And so to be clear,
Aaron Donald's ranking.
Yeah.
Aaron Donald's going to get triple teamed. Von Miller's going to get double teamed. And then the next guy is going to come free towards the quarterback.
Well, the point is you won't be able to do that, right? So
every play is double tight end package with a fullback.
You almost have to. You almost have to. The Alabama style offense, I think, will do best. But the thing is that what it is it allows them to make a run now, so it's a rental player in that way. But they're in a specific situation, Eagle, where they need to continuously pay draft picks to get bad contracts that they can get rid of in the offseason.
Rams are number 1.
Right? So they were number 4.
You know who was number 1, 2, 3? Oh, sorry. Rams, Bucks, Steelers. You know who's number 4?
Cowboys.
Don't say Cowboys.
Broncos.
Oh, yeah. Broncos are high, though.
Yeah. No, but he left the Broncos. He moved up. He went from 4 to 4 to 7 and 1.
Yeah.
The Cowboys, I don't even know.
I don't know if it takes into, because when I looked before, like around the time of the trade, they were 4th. So I think it takes Von Miller's impact, because it takes all the players' individual impact, right, and it puts it together.
Yeah.
So I think that pushes the Rams now to first, because they were 4th when I had looked at the time of the trade.
I kind of like the way they do it. They do 5 tiers.
Yeah. It's a good resource. I like both.
I never really went on this website before.
Yeah.
I might use it more often now.
So yeah, I like what they're doing. It's interesting. As a fan of a team who's been in the middle for 20 years, you know what? Who cares about picks? Go out and win. If you feel you have a better measure of getting players who are already in the league versus unknown quantities, go for it.
Fire sale.
Absolutely. The World Series has come and gone, and the Atlanta Braves are the champions. Fun story.
Great story.
First time in our lives, you and I, Terry, cheered for the Atlanta Braves because A, they were a fun team.
Yes.
B, fuck the Astros.
Obviously.
And I love. As much as I know my friends and family in Atlanta would have loved to watch the game there, to watch them win it at home. The fact that they won it in the cheater Astrodome makes me so happy. It's not even the Astrodome anymore, but whatever. The cheater, whatever bank field.
What is it?
Actually, you know what? Wasn't their team owned by Enron? Like the field owned by Enron at one point? Named for Enron?
That's too funny.
Eagle, find out if the Astro Stadium was ever named for Enron. I believe it was Enron Stadium. I think they should be forced, because of their cheating, they should be forced to call it the Enron Field.
I think we spoke about this, but Alex and I on Monday, we went on ASAP, All Sports All Play Network, and we did like their show. And we were talking about one of the guys is like an Astros fan. And that's the thing about like Americans, is like they identify themselves as what their sports fan base is.
It's weird.
So
and also their political leanings. It's the strangest
very
thing.
Weird. Like if you identify like as an Italian Canadian, you work in the school board, whatever.
Yeah.
These guys identify. Hey, how's it going, man? Like, oh yeah, I'm a Cowboys fan. It's like, all right.
Okay, cool,
man.
So it's currently named the
the
Minute Maid Park.
Yes, Minute Maid.
It changed name between February and July 2002. That was what it was called, Astros Field. Previous to that, between 2000 and 2002, it was called the Enron Field.
Well, that's because Enron crashed in 2003.
Before it was named and before there was anything, it was called the Ballpark at Union Station.
Great.
What a stupid fucking name.
That's actually a great name. I love that name.
The
Ballpark at Union Station.
You want to go to the Ballpark at Union Station?
Beautiful. Very easy. It explains everything that we're doing.
Plus, you can find it.
We're going to the ballpark, and it has like a specific location with a metro or a train or whatever.
Now it's the cheaters at Union
Station.
Station.
Yeah, that's what we had. Hey,
Also,
you want to go watch the Expos at Olympic Stadium? That didn't sell well.
No, that didn't go well.
Yeah. The other thing, they're also cheaters and now they're losers, so it makes me doubly happy.
So sorry, what I was gonna say is I was on the show and the guy, I'm like, listen, I go, if you guys win, I wrote an asterisk on a paper and I showed it to him. I go, if you guys win, then I'll wipe the asterisk clean. Like I'll go on the website and I'll take it off.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh yeah, cool, yeah, that's it. And he's like, yeah, that's what it is, man. It's like, if we win, it means we did it clean, so you can't give a shit anymore. I'm like, well, definitely not true.
No, that's how that works.
No.
If you cheat on your wife and then be like, well, I didn't cheat today.
Yeah, it
that doesn't make it better.
Yeah, it means you fucked up.
So Joe Buck caught some heat after the broadcast. I thought he did a great job on the broadcast. Mm-hmm. I loved it. Was a great. Well, it was a great game because the Astros got crushed. It actually wasn't a great game. But here is his call on Freddie Freeman's home run, and we'll have a quick conversation about why he got some heat.
1-1 pitch. Flies into left center field. Well hit. Back at the wall. It is gone. A home run for Freddie Freeman. How about that? In what might be his last at bat for the Atlanta Braves, he's just made it 7-0 with a shot into left center field here in the sixth.
There we go.
So, sorry about that. It got loud.
Play it again.
No, I'll just explain it real quick. So Joe Buck said after he was running the bases, Freddie hit Freeman probably has won the World Series for the Braves on what might be his last at bat for the Braves.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, so Braves fans lost their minds.
But we all knew that, though.
Yeah, I thought it was like
I think everybody.
A, he
knew
said
that.
might be. B, like a broadcaster, and they're like, why don't you just call the game? Like, he is calling the game. He's giving context. That's the job of the broadcaster.
Happens all the time.
Yeah.
And boxers, fighters, this might be his last one.
Well, no, he's not retiring, but he's a free agent at the end of the season.
Exactly. But they still say it. Like, you still have to
And
preface
they're
it.
not going to resign him.
But it's also, they can't. It's also
They can't because they're a young team, and he's part of the old guard, and yeah.
and they're gonna have to sign Acuna. So it's like, at this point, I don't know, man.
But like, imagine
People are
watching the
fucking
Super
babies.
Bowl and the team who's ahead by a lot scores a touchdown. And it's like, that's going to be the dagger that wins this game. The other team can't come back type of
That's
thing, right?
okay.
Unless you're like a 28-3.
Yeah, but I don't think it was that.
It's worse than
what
that.
bothered
almost.
What bothered them was not that. It was that they were saying it might be Freddie Freeman's last game.
I mean, that statement is not false.
And I want to say, but I want
Actually, it's very accurate.
But then they say
Even
that
if it
about
wasn't
Brady for
true.
a season.
for a full season.
For a full season, they said about Brady. Why is it different here?
Because Atlanta fans finally got what they wanted, a
Yeah.
championship.
After 10 years of dominating and doing nothing in the
Nothing.
90s.
They finally got their championship, and Joe Buck is taking away their boy. Freddie Freeman is like their guy.
I don't understand why people hate Joe Buck. I think he's excellent.
I think he's fantastic.
I think he's one of the best broadcasters.
by far.
He's one of the few I don't mute.
Yeah, I mean, there's
Or-
like a handful.
Let's put it this way, I wouldn't listen to the Manning cast if he was in the MNF booth.
Exactly, yeah. If
Because
it was
he's great.
If Joe Buck had the Monday Night Football contract, I definitely would
Absolutely.
listen to Manicast.
But we're bearing the lead on Freddie Freeman.
But I
Eagle,
also
bring
watch
up
football on mute. So.
Eagle, bring up the picture. Freddie Freeman, fake teeth. Gotta be.
I gotta see a before picture because those look just like clean teeth to me.
Eagle, there you go.
That's Freddie Freeman.
Yeah. Dude became a stud in his older years,
I was
huh?
gonna say he looks like a guy who used to plow freaking. He used to just pull tractors with his forehead.
Yeah.
That's not the same person, though.
Same person.
That's not the same.
That's the same person.
There's nothing about their features. Even the ears are different.
I know. Well, actually, the ears kind of look the same.
It looks like it's his nephew.
He looks
True
like
though it does.
he looks like his own nephew. It's okay.
He looks like his brother,
mean,
but with 5 kids. in between.
These pictures are years apart, obviously.
This is like 10 years
right?
apart. Yeah, for
Well,
sure.
one-
So
one's
lost
when he
a
was a
little
rookie at, like,
weight, you got
19.
older.
That's probably when he got drafted.
Yeah.
He looks like a 17-year-old kid. That's
But the
still
teeth
playing
are
football.
I mean,
different.
did he get drafted at 17? Because that would make sense.
It's about
you,
that.
You get drafted at 17. Yeah.
So what's the problem? He looks like a 17-year-old kid.
No, it's fine, but like it doesn't look like a 17-year-old kid that aged to be that person.
He did though. I guarantee you, he did. That's the person.
But I'm never gonna believe that these are the same people.
Yeah. So
The ears are different.
what's
Why would you
no?
transplant
But the
your
ears kind of look the same. I
No,
disagree.
his ear on the young picture is like round, is pointed, where the ear on the is round.
I don't know how to put this delicately, but Terry, at one point, I was heavier than I am now.
All right.
And then I took a pair of
At one point,
sunglasses.
I was lighter than I am now, so balance.
I took a pair of sunglasses that I used to own.
He was
From-
17 when he was drafted, by the way, 2007, and he's
Yeah.
born in '89.
So I took a pair of sunglasses that I used to own, and they no longer held on my face because that's how much
stretched
bigger
them
my
out.
face was
stretched
when I
them
was large.
How good of a feeling is it when you put on something you're like, oh, this used to be a little tight on me?
Oh, I had to get a whole new clothes. Like I lost 52
Yeah.
pounds. I had to get all new clothes.
Yeah.
I'll show you a
Fun.
picture from 4 years ago. But you won't believe.
No,
it.
no,
That's
I
what looked
remember.
like.
I
It
remember
was
exactly what
atrocious.
you look like.
Nobody else did. My wife was like, "That was you?
I remember.
Why did I marry you?" No. So the thing with what's more likely, fake teeth or he's his own nephew?
He's his own nephew. What part of the country is he from?
He's American Canadian.
think he's-
Pennsylvania.
Yeah, he's American Canadian.
Dutch? Maybe he's Amish?
What? How did you get the Dutch?
Pennsylvania Dutch?
But he's like Canadian.
But you said
Canadian Dutch.
but you
Old
said-
Dutch. Old Dutch chips.
Old Dutch chips.
Yeah.
He was born in Fountain Valley, California,
Oh,
but his
California,
parents are
okay.
from Ontario, Canada, Peterborough, and Windsor specifically.
Ontario, yeah.
Inbred.
And then he
Yeah.
grew up in LA, essentially. Yeah.
So he might just be like just a long lane of inbreds.
Yeah.
I mean, the
allegedly. Let's go with allegedly.
The 17-year-old Freeman looks like he was at least.
Yeah.
The 29-year-old Freeman does not.
The 17-year-old Freddie Freeman looks like he went in and out too often.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Which isn't a bad thing.
So it's time for rapid fire.
Can't wait to go to Shake Shack in New York.
Rapid fire.
Like right now.
Oh, I mean, sorry. Before rapid fire, Terry, tell us who rapid fire is presented by.
I will tell
you. You could have used your voice. You have a microphone.
I will tell you that I went on a little streak the other day, on a hot streak, and I won 3 bets in a row on one game, the Pacers and the Knicks. I went freaking nuts.
Did you bet on red?
Huh?
Did you bet on red 25 times in a row?
No, I did not. And I'm scared that I'm going to try to do that tonight.
It's guaranteed what you're doing the second you leave the studio.
No, I'm not. I'm not. But what I will do is on air, the last thing we do as you're closing up, I'll put like a random, like an amount on black.
Yeah.
We'll just do that.
All right. And we'll see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes. Yeah, but this episode, as usual, is brought to you by a hot streak. So last night I went on a little bit of a streak. Was on a hot streak.
Mm-hmm.
When I logged in, I used the promo code Hot Sauce. And I got money. They just decided to give me free money.
That's nice of them.
Yeah, it's very nice of them because I used the promo code Hot Sauce. So go on Hot Streak. It's on iOS. It's the best fantasy app, best in-play fantasy you can bet on. Hot Streak Fantasy on iOS. Use the promo code Hot Sauce, and they'll match your initial deposit with a bonus. Rapid fire.
It's time.
All right, we're going to start with monkey business. A woman named Pole Assassin, by the way, that's her actual name, the girlfriend of Texas special teams coach Jeff Banks, had an issue on Halloween evening as a neighborhood child had his fingers bitten by her, wait for it, emotional support monkey.
Makes sense.
I'm down.
This is sad that people have to go all out of the way to prove that a person is lying. Here's the gate. Here's where all the haunted house action happened. And yes, I do clean up fast. The shit's gone. Here's the gate that every child and parent was told to turn around at when they got to. It was closed and blocked off with balloons. This is how far the kid went in my backyard without permission, all the way over here to where my animals live. And watch this. I don't even play when it comes to my animals, and I know all the legal rules on them. Do not enter emotional support animal, no touching. How can she viciously bite someone if they don't stick their hand in there where it don't belong? This is her home and her home only. It's already clear as day on the gate. Don't touch. No one's allowed back here without my permission.
So she's right. If that's like all true.
Yeah.
She's 100% right.
I don't think it matters. I think what matters is she has an emotional support monkey.
And she's a stripper.
I thought only
she probably needs a lot of emotional support.
I thought the only one with an emotional support monkey was the man in the yellow hat.
Who's that? Curious
George. I didn't know it extended beyond that, to be honest.
I wish I had I wish I had like an emotional support. What would be your emotional support animal? I think it'd be like a wolf for me. Like one that could put me in my place, like give me a little growl. I'm like, I know what you're fucking with here.
I mean, that sounds like your girlfriend.
Yeah, that's true. Let's go.
Banging a wolf?
Huh?
You're banging a wolf?
Feisty.
A hot one.
Seriously?
Maybe like a koala. I think koala, but they have chlamydia, so.
And also, their fangs are really sharp, and they sleep like 20 hours
sloth.
a day.
I guess a sloth.
They don't do anything.
Exactly, but they're cuddly, they're warm, they're very slow moving. Yeah, I think emotional support sloth because he knows what I'm going through. He's anxiety written just like I am.
I was gonna say I'm fairly socially anxious, so I would need something that could attack other things.
Okay, so like a wolf would be perfect for you.
Wolf would be good.
Cobra, python. But
yeah, or there's a story that came out that
pythons you do not. It's cobras.
Cobra. I said cobra then python.
No.
There's a there's a kind of forced evolution that's happening with some animals that are hunted regularly. So like, forced selection, not really forced evolution. So more and more elephants, for example, are being born without tusks because the ones born without tusks are less likely to be hunted. So
how are they born without tusks?
Because the parents that are the ones who banged are the ones who weren't murdered for their tusks. So they don't carry the gene that has the tusk. So that gene is less and less present in the gene pool. And same thing with rattlesnakes.
Oh, so they just don't have tusks.
Yeah,
the parents.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the rattlesnakes have largely been killed because you can hear them, you can find them. So they will in some cultures they'll rattle them up and kill them. So the ones that are surviving are the ones that are harder to know that they're coming because they're the ones with defective rattles. Give me a defective rattlesnake.
You want a defective rattlesnake.
Defective
The
rattlesnake.
one with the rattle.
With the rattle that doesn't work.
With the rattle, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that way, you bother me at the grocery store, you get bit.
I heard a rattlesnake once. It was very
Terrifying,
scary.
right?
Very scary.
Terrifying.
Because you don't know where they are.
Yeah.
You have no
Because
idea.
the sound
and they're
kind of
right at your feet.
because the sound kind of echoes and it messes with your echolocation.
it
You have no idea where it's
It
coming from.
was in Arizona. It was pretty scary.
Yeah.
Just because I want to choose one too, I would take an emotional support ocelot, and it would be named Babu, and it
What's
would
an
ruin
ocelot?
my living room.
Like Archer.
Correct.
What's ocelot?
It's like a fancy leopard.
Oh, okay. I'd take an ocelot.
House of the Rising Sun. Phoenix Suns majority owner Robert Sarver is being investigated for claims of racism and misogyny and harboring a toxic work environment. Does anyone have the Clippers that ring a bell all over again?
Oh, yeah, Donald Sterling.
So I was gonna say when we talked about commissioners, I was gonna mention.
But Donald Sterling, I don't think it was a toxic environment. I think he was just like such an old school guy. Like it's the whole Bill.
No,
Bill
it
bit,
was
right?
terrible, dude.
It was bad what he said. I'm not saying it
No,
wasn't, but I think like he's just.
No, you don't understand.
I don't think he just understood life.
No, the players. It almost ended the NBA for a short period of time. Like players refused to take the court while Donald Sterling still owned the team.
No, I knew that, but I don't think that I don't think he had done anything that was like to the players that was. I think this is just his thought process.
No. You don't want to say that. I'm telling you, look it up. It's awful. It's worse than a lot.
No, I know that the players like they posted a strike and everything, and I'm not saying they shouldn't. I'm just saying it's like I think he was so just far gone. I don't think he realized it, but I think this Farver guy, whatever his name is.
Well, so we'll get
he
into
knows
server. Yeah. So the thing is, we're talking about commissioners before. The one thing about not David Stern, Adam Silver, is that
I said David Silver last time.
Yeah, I know. That's what got me on David
Adam
Stern.
Stern.
What happened with Adam Silver is that he also doesn't help that Sterling Silver's the thing. So Adam Silver took a team away.
Sterling Silver Stern. It's like
He
an
got-
accounting firm.
He got the team. He got them to take the team away, which I thought was going to happen to Washington with Daniel Snyder, because that can happen.
It might still
You're
happen.
not guaranteed to
No,
keep it. Well, it might still happen.
Yeah.
Just ask Jeff Bezos.
But you're bought out. Like it's like
No,
okay.
you get something for it,
Yeah,
of course.
You
But
still your business.
But
right?
you aren't guaranteed to keep your team, right?
Yeah.
So that's the one situation where I found Silver actually showed leadership. Mind you, he had no choice. They were not going to play.
Yeah.
Like before we saw a COVID lockdown, we might have seen like an NBA just lockdown where just players were like, nope, refuse, get him out of here. The thing with Robert Sarver is he's known to be a terrible owner. He's cheap. He doesn't want to extend. We talked about how he doesn't want to extend
DeAndre
Ayton.
Ayton.
There's a lot of people who say he runs a team like a small family business and is completely out of touch with reality.
Because he wants to win a championship on a small family business, and if he did, oh my God,
Yeah.
you would never be able to get rid of him.
Earl Watson had a story where he was telling why he was complaining that why should Draymond Green be able to say the N-word, but he said it, and I shouldn't be able to say it. And in that conversation, apparently he said it like 12 or 13 times.
Oh.
And Coach Watson, who was himself black, was like, "You need to stop."
You need to shut the fuck.
Yeah, and
That's not your
there's been
word.
like 12 or 13 stories that have come out in the past couple of days about him using that word and saying things that are racist to players
Yeah.
and to colleagues and so on. So
I mean, just because you can't have it, I'm going to say it for you. Nutella.
why is it that you can all eat Nutella and I can't?
You can't eat Nutella?
I'm allergic to
Hazelnuts.
Oh, I
hazelnuts.
knew this already. And Duke's a Pittsburgh fan, Penguins fan.
Yeah.
I knew that too,
Yeah.
but I always forget.
And a Dolphins fan. A lot of scandals this
Lot
week.
of
Lots of
scandals, yeah.
scandals. It's a bad week for the Rockets.
Next.
I identify as a Chicago sports fan, if that means anything.
It's also pretty bad.
Yeah.
And I have Rodgers on
I
Green
might-
Bay,
I
so
might-
it's not been a good
honestly,
week for our
true.
franchises.
So like, I realize that I'm all over the map. My sports teams. I might just pick a city.
Yeah, it might be
Just
easier
say
for
fuck
you.
it.
Might be easier for you.
Jackpot. The Las Vegas Golden Knights have traded Alex Tuck.
Tuck.
How do you get all names wrong?
It's fun.
Also, the
Krebs-
Habs have his brother as a prospect.
That's
Whatever. Peyton Krebs, 2 conditional picks for the Buffalo Sabres. Jack Eichel.
Oh,
Now
you got that one right though.
There was rumors that the Flames were making an offer. And
Yeah,
that
they made an offer
was
with
better.
the Chuck. I know.
So
Yeah.
apparently, I've heard, and again in the grapevine, that deal was orchestrated just as a way to leverage Vegas to throw in more, and that it wasn't
That's
an
honestly
actual
that's
deal.
a fucking good move for Vegas because Tuck really hasn't. There's a lot off the books right there because he's making like $4.75 million. Buffalo has the money. Eichel going there, they needed a center really bad. Like
So-
you're playing with Stevenson at center. It's not working.
But here's the problem, though. Eichel has to go for surgery, right? Sabres weren't going to allow him to do that, so he's going to be on LTIR. So his salary is not going to count for this year. They can't afford him this year anyways, even if they dump the salary. So they're basically pulling a Tampa Bay move, which is Kucherov. Exactly. They're going to bring him back for playoffs, and then he's going to dominate.
If Eichel was on the Knights last year, Habs don't even see.
I agree.
They win one game maybe.
And
it changes. He's a fucking.
How do you feel about Pacioretty, Stone, and Eichel as the best line in the NHL?
As the best line in the NHL, I'll never say another line is better than, even though they're not playing that way, than Pasta, other than McDavid and Draisaitl, or Pasta, Marchand, and Bergeron.
I get
Currently or ever?
I'm saying currently.
Oh, yeah.
Of
currently.
all time? Best line of all time? I mean, it's
some of those Red Wings lines in the 90s were
Red
pretty
Wings
wild.
and the Avalanche. I'm trying to think.
I'm
I mean,
thinking-
listen.
Also-
McKinnon, Rantanen, and like
Yeah, my
1A would
mistake.
be Landeskog, Kadri. That's pretty intense.
My mistake. I forgot that Colorado Avalanche are going to own this league for 20 years now.
and they're like these
Like,
Bo Byron.
If they're not, all they have to do is
McCarr.
not be the Edmonton Oilers,
Yeah.
and they will run this league for
But
20 years.
just having McDavid and Draisaitl on one line, that's automatically the best line. McDavid's the best hockey
But just
player.
like the top three though, like I know what you mean. Like as a pair, it's incredible. But like that's an impressive three to put together on
100%.
the line.
McDavid's the best, might be the best hockey player in the history of the NHL. He might not get the points and all that stuff. He's
I
probably.
mean, he does get the points.
No, but
on
he
a
might
shit
not,
team.
I'm talking about the records. He might
You
not
won't
get
you
the
won't
records.
reach Ovechkin's level, for
Yeah.
example, right?
And no,
In terms of points, in terms of
points,
points
yes.
and
Goals, maybe not.
Okay,
Because
sorry,
he
goals,
gets,
yeah.
Because he gets points in other ways. Ovechkin's just a sniper. He might be the best hockey player I've ever seen play. Legit him, Lemieux, Crosby. I think are the three best hockey players
up
I've
there.
ever seen play.
Next, killer tweets. After appearing at a Bills game this past weekend, O.J. Simpson returned to the world of social media on Twitter to share his thoughts on the Henry Ruggs DUI and fatal car accident we talked about earlier.
Hey, Twitter world, it's me, yours truly, getting ready to tee off. Well, it was kind of a depressing morning in sports. Henry Ruggs with the Raiders. It's so unfortunate. Young kid, promising career. He was just beginning to really start to show off, and this happens. You know, a year ago, 2 years ago when they came here, I did a tweet that said that the biggest problem was going to be, you know, with the players dealing with nightlife in this town. You know, it's Las Vegas. You got a lot of big game hunters, and what I was surprised at is when I said that.
The big game hunters
So
are the
why-
best part.
why-
We'll still bring that apart up though.
Why?
What?
Why? Like, so he's like, that's one thing that was concerning was the nightlife in Vegas with the big game hunters. What do the big game hunters have to do with this?
I think it's just O.J. Simpson.
And there's no big game hunters going out partying every weekend because they have to wake up early
To go hunt,
fucking get
yeah.
the deer.
So I think what's happening here is O.J. Simpson is finding something that finding commonalities with certain groups of people. So like big game hunters, Henry Ruggs, O.J. Simpson,
Yeah.
they've all killed.
They've all murdered.
So maybe that's what that is.
They've all murdered. He is one of the most entertaining people on the internet.
But like unintentionally.
Unintentionally.
It's like if your parents are on
How
Facebook.
unaware is he of of his perception? Like, is he aware? How self-aware is he like right now? I don't think he's self-aware at all.
0%. I love that he feels the need.
If he is self-aware, he's a fucking genius.
He's not though.
I
He's
know.
very clearly
We know
not.
he's not.
He
But if he did it,
he broke into a Las Vegas casino, the place with the most cameras in the world.
more cameras than Homeland Security.
Yeah.
to steal his own shit. But
Homeland Security buys old cameras from casinos.
Next, Odell Baller Jr. Shortly after Browns receiver Odell Beckham Jr.'s dad posted an 11-minute video indicating that his son was not being thrown to when he's completely wide open, and admittedly, he was very
O.J.
much
Simpson
open.
spoke about it.
He has been dismissed from the team. He's been basically excused from practices a couple times in a row. There's a quick little clip here from First Take about where he could potentially go, but we're not going to play that because there's been rumors that the Raiders are interested in him to replace said DUI Henry Ruggs speedster.
There's the rumors with the Dolphins. There's rumors on every team. I don't know if the Browns will just let him go, to be honest, because there's too much salary.
At this point, they might have to.
Well, no, they can just keep him at home.
Oh yeah, true.
The trade deadline's passed, right?
Yeah,
so they can keep him till the offseason. I don't see why they would waive him.
Did we kind of anticipate this is happening with OBJ? I mean, I've always given OBJ the benefit of the doubt. I think he's a fucking unbelievable player, but he is a little bit of a prima donna, and I don't know. And he could be open.
Every
he
wide
could not be
receiver
open.
is.
Yeah,
Michael Irvin was.
Imagine, yeah, exactly. Jerry Rice, Terrell Owens.
Imagine
how many
they had
How many
Twitter.
screaming matches that Terrell Owens have with people on the sideline because he's open? You know what I mean? The receivers are always open in their head.
Yeah.
So,
but the thing is, like, there's also no context. Like one of the throws, for example, Eagle. I remember from the game where I saw it on the TV. I was like, Beckham was open, but it was like 3rd and 10, and he's running an underneath route. Yeah, okay, you can throw a 3-yard slant and get tackled. Baker Mayfield's looking downfield. That's what you want the quarterback to do. So I think for whatever reason, I thought when he went to Cleveland, it was a slam dunk of a signing based on what Baker can do outside the pocket,
and
how he can throw on the run. Exactly. And it just, for whatever reason, there's so many stats to indicate how the Browns are better when he's not on the field. It doesn't even make sense. Yeah. I don't understand it.
It doesn't make any fucking sense.
There's also rumors that the Falcons too.
I mean,
there's a rumor about that.
To drop him now. I mean, or whatever.
Someone offered me a trade for 10 fab for Odell Beckham Jr. And I said, my team's boring enough. I don't need another receiver with 6 yards to catch.
Can we, in his defense, if I want to call it that, he hasn't gotten that many targets this year.
He's the leading target receiver on that team despite missing 2 games.
That makes no.
They run the ball a lot, man.
They run the ball a lot. They have Nick Chubb.
He has 30. He has 37 targets. He missed 2 games.
Nick Chubb. No, Duke Johnson's not on the team anymore.
Backup. Well, Kareem Hunt, D'Ernest Johnson.
Yeah, exactly.
Felton.
Yeah, exactly. So they're
2 tight ends. They have Hooper and Njoku.
They're a good team. The Browns. I'm a Browns guy, pseudo supporter of the Browns, and but he's not going to stay there next year. He won't be there next year.
No.
And last topic for today, and very close to our hearts and other organs that pump blood, monumental fire. Montreal has lost a beloved monument known to residents and tourists alike. As this week, Le Club Super Sex has burned to the ground. We actually have footage on our Instagram. I'll use the moment to say, hey, follow us to see other burning buildings. Yeah. It's very sad to see this.
Really? I've never been. I was more of a
since it's just ambient fire sound, you can kill the sound.
Yeah. It's honestly sad because it's a legit landmark. I have a picture on my phone that I sent to Duke. It was a girl on my Facebook. She had taken a picture, but like in black and white, of Club Super Sex, and it's just a nice picture. I asked Duke to make it for the background of a Hot Sauce Sports. Yeah, so we're gonna get it done.
One of the things about Club Super Sex, I'm not a strip club guy. I never have been, but I'm so old and I've been working so long that one of my first jobs, one of the guys I used to work with used to call meetings at Club Super Sex. Wings were decent. Yeah. Apparently
they have a good buffet.
All I remember was the
set up on fire.
But it's been closed already, so it kind of feels like maybe this is an insurance thing. I will say one of the coolest things was when you're riding up the escalator to at the Scotiabank Theater. Out the window, you'd see that glorious sign for Club Super Sex.
Yeah,
and it was just like superheroes and strippers. It was such a cool concept, such a throwback to what that part of the city used to be in our youth.
Oh my god!
Kind of like how Times Square used to be the peep show central, right?
It was great, man. I loved it. I love that. I mean, back then when you were a kid, going on St. Catherine was like the best part.
But now it's the most gentrified part of the city.
Oh, big time.
We kind of have semi-breaking news that just came in. There is new footage from Topgolf about Henry Ruggs that we now have access to. Apparently, this is a text that Derek Carr received a couple hours before the crash.
That's all you need. That's all you need. Fit the ball.
I'm finna cut the camera off.
Fit the ball.
I don't know.
All right. Well,
Duke sent it. I blame Duke. He's like, wow, there's a text he received. All right. It just sounds like he's playing golf.
It's just because it's Raiders stuff. Duke's more interested in the weird parts of it than we are.
I mean, considering it came with the message that said, wow, so this was the text Carr got before the car crash. Rumor is he was served 18 shots. I thought the video was something relevant.
Nope.
No.
It's just him at Topgolf. Well, that brings us to the end of the show. If you have not yet subscribed to our YouTube, if you've not yet subscribed to us on Spotify or wherever you get your podcast, please do that. That's what helps us keep the green screen on.
Hot Street Fantasy.
And, of course, our partners at Hot Street Fantasy. If you use the promo code
Hot Sauce,
you will get, is it $10 worth?
No,
they match your deposit.
They'll match your deposit.
Match the deposit. That's awesome.
50, they give you 50.
Yeah. I did a long time ago, and I've been using it since. So
Same here.
It's awesome. Do enjoy it. Basketball season is back. That's where I enjoy it the most. Of course, me being a huge basketball fan. And it's still going on for football with baseball season coming to an end. So do get on that.
Apparently, they're working on hockey.
Yeah, so we'll see how that goes as well. Eagle, thank you for everything you've done today. Terry, man, it's been great doing the show 2 weeks in a row with you in the studio. So thank you for coming. Thank you all for watching. And most of all, thank you for letting me be myself. You've been listening to Hot Sauce Sports.